those girls more like to hear from teens who already been experienced through that. Because adults wouldn't like quite understand what's going down in the world and at school and like in the teen environment today.
Okay. Okay, I know that everybody wants to respond to that. I'm gonna let you respond. Go ahead.
Well, I would rewind back to the school. I remember I was in 8th grade and we had this essence program. And some kids didn't want to like talk about it. They didn't want to be in it because what their peers might think about them. Oh, they want to do that. Wait, hold on, one minute. The peers and other people, when they find out that they're in the program, they're like, oh, we don't want to hang with her. She's trying to do all that, or he's trying to do all that. So we make the life better. So
peer pressure.
yeah, like peer pressure. Yeah.
Right.
And I had also for that, in my church we have a Bible study for teens, for girls, for boys, and a couple years back, with our church in the South World, we have doctors in the type of career field. We had a doctor came in, a lady doctor came in and did, what was it, was dealing with sex.
Right.
And when she came in, and of course, the girls, the ones had to fill out all the question form with their parents. And they was very graphic. She was very graphic. She wanted to be real about it. She wanted to be able to see what happens when some person gets AIDS, all types of STDs. So I think that'd be another thing that we can find within the church. And I don't know how each pastor is willing to do it, but find a way when we get some doctors in to come in and just be real with them and show them the end result of what happens when you do this and when you do that.
Right. So you want to see real stuff. You want to see the anatomy. You want to see what happens as a result of teen pregnancy. What happens as a result of HIV and AIDS. You want real talk. As you're saying, I think Victoria and up front.
Okay, I just want to share when I was in school and my mom came in. She said, and I didn't go far with her, but that was the weekend on it. And she said, let me know when you get hot so I can put you on a pill. I'm never going to tell you. Because to me, that was embarrassing that she was said it that way.
Right.
So I never did tell her. But I think when she was saying that, you rather hear from a teen or instead of your mom or a grown-up, that's how I was. Because of the shame and you're embarrassed and, But as far as the other question or another suggestion about getting the doctor to come in here and, in the girl group that we had a girl that was 22 and she was HIV since she was 12.
Wow.
But she's lasted this long. Thank God. So she spoke about how she was not going to get pregnant and she did not want to have this on with anyone else and how that hurt her. And now she can't have it. She can, but she's not.
So the question is, how do we empower our youth to make the right decision? How do we do that? What can we as a community do to empower our youth to make great decisions about our body, about our education, about our future? What can we do? I'm going to bring up our president and founder, Mr. Caraway. I know he always has so many great things he's doing. I don't know his schedule. He says, oh, no, but I never know his schedule. But I want him to come up because, we talk about, do we have programs, what are we doing? But we're telling you now, there are some things, but how do we get the word out? How do we get you all to help? How do we get volunteers to make things happen? As Ms. Helen came up before, we can't do it by ourselves, and we should not have to do it by ourselves. Ms. Caroline?
Well, let me get your head in. Go ahead.
Well, to your question, I was going to say, for counselors, Dallas is one of the largest districts in the Metroplex, and for us, I would say, these programs that you have, I would be willing to be an avenue. My next counselors meeting, to give every counselor a list of resources to put in our resource manual. Because even when I was in school and I combined my resource manual, it was hard to find if the organization didn't have a website. That's the only thing, we use is the internet. But if there is a list of organizations that we're missing out on, like I didn't even heard of the Dallas Youth Council, and I grew up in Dallas. But, I personally would be willing to say, secondary school, elementary, high school counselors, here's another list of resources for you to use. Yeah.
Go ahead.
You want to hear that, because he is, we are the Dallas Youth Council, we want to hear that.
This might be something way out, but I'm just visualizing. I know a lot of times, a lot of kids are looking at TV, just all this, but if we can do a role play of a video, of our team role playing, because I know my daughter, one time, okay, about this particular young rap artist, he wanted to do, a video, which he did make a video, and what they did a class, they did a hallway setting with the lockers and everything, and his song was about holding yourself until marriage. But it's within this program right here, if we can do some type of role play and make a video and describe what about sex and something like that, but not being graphic, I think that would be another way of advertising and getting the word out.
And you ask.
Facilitating and groups and inspiring communities for these learning that don't exist.
Right. And let me say, I'm just excited to walk in and hear this discussion. And more importantly, I'm excited to see all of you here. It means so much for you to take out on a Saturday morning to come and be involved. Let me say first, I'm Dwayne Caraway. And it was a vision of mine and a commitment that I've had to look after the youth, those coming behind me. There are folks that looked after me. The reason that I'm where I am today. Had it not been for those folks, all the way to the Martin Luther King, the Rosa Parks, we still building back of us. We still wouldn't have our right to vote. We'd still be having this segregation and all those things. And being a benefactor of that, it is my responsibility to make sure that I continue to carry that torch and open up even more doors behind me that are still closed on us. Now, with that, when you look at the youth, I see it as my responsibility. No city responsibility. It's a mandated responsibility from above that when you get into a position, the position is defined by only what you do. And we're going to fix potholes. Sometimes we're going to maybe raise taxes sometimes. We're going to deal with the trash in the streets and all of that. But at the same token, when you're in a position to open up those doors, it's from my heart that I feel that when I can do something for the youth, I'm doing what God has led me to do. So I'm so very blessed to have Gloria and CW and Stephanie and all the other volunteers we've had to help me formulate and to facilitate the youth council. The youth council, there was a youth commission, and my wife, State Representative Barbara Mallory Caraway, formed the youth council for the city of Dallas over a period of time. That was back in 1993. And over a period of time, that has dissolved. Before it was dissolved, when I got on the city council, I said, well, we're not going to let this just go away. The youth are whom we need to be listening to, who we are committed to work for, and to make sure that we keep the youth involved. It was my vision to keep on and I make sure we got with the city of Dallas so that they would know that we're not about to let the youth council go away. Okay? So therefore, we formulated the Dallas Youth Commission when the city of Dallas was poised to because of budgetary constraints, let the youth council dissolve. So in an agreement, we formulated the Dallas Youth Council. What I've done was, since being on the council for the past 4 years, I said that City Hall belongs to everyone, and it just doesn't belong to adults. City Hall belongs to every child that's just been born, and those that are still on the way. And I encourage children to come and participate in a Saturday teen summit so that we could hear what was going on and get them involved. Granted, we go to the churches, we go to the recreation centers, we go to the park, we go to the different facilities, but I wanted to make sure that the youth had an opportunity to walk into City Hall. And for the adults that have ever gone to the state capitol down in Austin or to the White House, when you walk into the state capitol, when I first walked in, I looked and said, dang, look where I am, you know. And I developed a whole nother attitude because of where I was. So, not trying to compete with different organizations and different projects, I wanted to make sure that we would capture the attention of the youth. And one thing that I found that was workable was when they was coming to City Hall, they was darn. And I mean, it'd be a whole different attitude that they'd have. They would want to sit and listen. They were at awe. They wanted to more or less participate. From that, it began to work. And I did begin to work my staff. Just as Stephanie is here now, Stephanie has been here from the very first youth council session that we've had in retreat at City Hall, even as up until today. And this is not a part of her job description. I want to make sure you understand that she takes care of me every day, and I keep plenty on her plate just trying to deal with me on the Dallas City Council.
Amen.
Besides the extra that she has to take on when it comes down to making sure that we facilitate. So we've had people to buy in. Gloria's bought in. CW's bought in. All of us have bought into the fact that the youth are the future. When people ask me, they say, Dwayne, what are we going to do for you? How can we help you? Well, it goes beyond just helping me in a campaign. The greatest way that I found that they could help me is to help the children, and that I'm committed to making a difference in their lives. Therefore, we developed an opportunity when people would ask us what we would do. Shoot, I want to take me to children. We're going to get on some buses and we're going to leave town. That's what we're going to do. And we took the first trip, I think we went to Houston and to Nassau. And we took 5 buses of kids, buses that didn't even have a bathroom. But they were buses that were donated by Dallas County schools. And that trip may have cost us $25,000, $30,000. And nothing that we do costs the children. It is nothing that we do costs the children. And that's pay a 50-cent fee, $1 fee, and about a $10 ticket. Whatever it is we do, I go out and get the money to make sure that we're able to do that. But we took 5 buses to Nassau, and then we left Nassau and went on to Galveston to Moody Gardens. And then we brought them back from Moody Gardens and Galveston and drove past the University of Houston. But we made a stop at Texas Southern University. I want you to know that. That's why I went to school. So we made a stop at Texas Southern University. We want to try to educate in more ways than just seeing the university, but they had a chance to see the NASA Space Center. And these kids were on their very best behavior. I want you to know that I've been so proud of the children that we've taken on these trips. And then we went to Moody Gardens. They had a chance to, when we rode over that bridge to Galveston, the most important thing and one of the highlights to me was when I looked at the eyes of the children, that some have never been out South Dallas or Oak Cliff, Pleasant Grove, or anywhere else. And when they rode over that big bridge and they saw that ocean, that's the first time these kids saw an ocean. Wow. And then when they saw this big body of water, they saw these houses up on these big stilts and all of that, you know, so then questions came. Well, why is this? Well, we'd have to tell them and explain to them about the ocean and the high water and hurricanes and all that. And then guess what? 2 weeks later, bam, Hurricane Katrina. So it was a natural coalition of what they had experienced, and that they could then come back and understand what that was all about. We took a trip to Austin. We went to the state capitol, and I think we took 5 buses there. And when we went to the state capitol, we had lunch on the state capitol grounds. They had an opportunity to go see the actual legislation in action as it was going. We had lunch on the grounds with State Senator Royce West and Representative Barbara Mallory Caraway, and then there were others. But they had a chance to interact on that particular trip and to see that there is a greater side of life if I just continue to marry my parents, get my education, and be that person the best that I can be in life. From that point, we took 8 buses. Stephanie didn't like it, but we took 8 buses, because I like to get buses and buses. And so we took 8 buses, and we took a trip out of state, and we went to Memphis, Tennessee. And this was our Civil Rights Tour. We had a chance to go to the Civil Rights Museum, to Stax Records, and then Philander Smith, Lamont Owens, and some kids from that trip managed to get some scholarships, okay? And these are any kids. We're not looking for a set group of kids. We're looking for kids. And they don't all have to live in Dallas. I want you to understand that. Kids to me is one that's in Sunnyvale, Arkansas, DeSoto, Cedar Hill, Mesquite. It does not matter. If you make yourself available and want to go, then we make sure that you're able to participate. And it's for all kids. And it's not for all kids of African American descent. It's for kids, period. So we have Hispanic kids, we have Anglo kids, not many, but we have, but we have our African American kids. And so we went to see in Memphis, Tennessee. You got to remind yourself that I'm 8 buses. It's $75,000, $80,000 now to take 8 buses to Memphis, Tennessee, to pay every admission, to make sure that they're fed, to make sure that everything is taken care of, the videos that they're watching on the bus can correlate with the trip. So of course, when we go in, they're looking at the Martin Luther King story, the Rosa Parks story, and these are first class buses. Now we moved up, so all the buses got bathrooms. So we started one way, but now we got the bathrooms, the Greyhound buses and things. And this last trip, we only took 3 buses. It wasn't because we did not have money, but it was because we wanted to make sure that we had substance and that we were able to better manage, and the kids had more time to gain an understanding and to truly absorb what was before us. And so we went to the Clinton Library in Little Rock, Arkansas. And of course, we went to Philander Smith College and some other areas. I only say that to you so you can know that there are a lot of great things that are happening, and there are reasons for these things happening. And you've not read in the paper not one negative thing about none of the trips. You've not even read the positive thing about the trips, because when you're doing something positive, then they're not going to necessarily write about it, okay? But those things happen, and that's what DYC is about. Now, let me kind of segue into something, and the reason I say I need you all's help, and I want to give you a charge